everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Geeks Not Nerds, the podcast. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And today, Eric and I are embarking on an epic journey. We are going to watch all 5 parts of the Green Ranger Saga from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and we're going to bring you a commentary on each one. So for the next 5 days, we're going to post one of these. We're going to post an episode of Geeks Not Nerds, the podcast, with a commentary on the next installment of the Green Ranger Saga.
We should release them out of order.
Yeah, that would be really mean of us, wouldn't it?
Episode 3, Episode 2, Episode 5.
Yeah. It'd be like, people would be like, what are you guys, Fox?
I was going to end with Episode 1, so yeah.
So today we're going to start with the first part of the
Green Ranger. Out of order will stop after 3 episodes.
And Eric, you said it's been a while since you've watched this, right?
I don't think I've watched this in its entirety since I was like 12. And even then, you know what I'm thinking back now? I don't think I even watched it in its entirety. I think I got like part 5 from the library because...
So you've maybe never even seen all of it.
No, I used to have all of it on tape when I was a kid.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be fun then. I'm really looking forward to this.
But can I just say, retroactively, in a way, it doesn't matter now, but screw Saban and releasing 1 episode of VHS for a 5-parter. That's mean, and those were like $20 a piece.
Did they really do that? Wow.
Yeah, the Green Ranger Saga was released in 5 VHSs, 1 episode a piece.
So obviously, this was a really huge deal when it happened. I think it would be safe to say that this was one of the big things that got Power Rangers as famous as it was.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody talked about this, and the only thing bigger than this was White Ranger shortly thereafter.
But White Ranger was only 2 parts. This is 5.
No, I just mean like as far as popularity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I mean, because Green Ranger was big, White Ranger was bigger. And anyway, this was a big part of my childhood. This was Eric's idea to do commentaries on this, and I thought it'd be really fun
to watch it. I still haven't bought Power Rangers the movie from Walmart.
Yeah, so we haven't done our commentary on that yet. We're gonna do that eventually. But in the interim,
first ever re-commentary.
Which I'm really looking forward to doing, but I'm also really looking forward to doing this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this. If you happen to have the Power Ranger DVDs, of course, go ahead and bring up the first episode of the Green Ranger Saga. It's Green with Evil Part 1. And if you have Netflix, it's also there. That's how Eric and I are going to be watching this. Go ahead and get everything past menus or whatever, or on Netflix, just press play and then hit pause once it's loaded up for you. And everybody go ahead and hit play as soon as I say now. Eric, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
All right, everybody press play right now.
All right. Hey, you know I said I turned the subtitles on?
Yeah?
They're not on. Or they're just not on for the intro. I'll fiddle around with it after.
Without subtitles, you might not remember that Rita Repulsa says it's time to conquer Earth.
You know how often I say that in a week? Probably at least once.
You know who does a perfect impression of Rita Repulsa?
Your wife?
My wife.
Every time you say, you know who does a perfect impression, the answer is always your wife.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. She also does a fair imitation of Alpha 5.
Oh, really?
Wow, how different does David Yost look in the first season than, like, Zeo?
Oh, he's awesome in Zeo.
Yeah, he's great. I've been going back and rewatching Zeo with Jason.
I've never really watched Zeo a bunch. I've seen, like, a few scattered episodes of Zeo. Zeo's probably the Power Ranger series I've seen the least of outside the ones I haven't watched at all. Man, this guy's intense. There should be whirling those sticks.
There should be a whole 5-parter of Power Rangers that is nothing but this competition.
I think that's what this is.
Yeah, but there's also some stuff in between about an evil guy and a candle.
I'm just saying, you throw some ribbons on those guys' sticks, and he's playing a different sport. Oh, there were 2 writers on this. Stuart St. John. You think he's related to Austin St. John?
He's not.
Okay.
As far as I know, I think they're completely unrelated. But he wrote a lot of these.
Oh, okay.
And of course, we're still in the days here where we're pulling most of the footage from the Moon stuff from Sentai.
Yeah, all of season 1 is like that.
When you get to 3, most of it's new stuff.
I think 2 is mostly new stuff too.
Maybe it
No,
is.
it is because it's Zed. It's all new stuff.
Oh, I guess you're right. Yeah, I wasn't sure when I said that, which is why I.
So, Green with Evil, is that a pun on Green with Envy, or is it just a coincidence?
No, I think it probably is a pun, especially given how many of these titles were puns.
Does it count as a pun? Or is it just they changed a word? I don't know what the definition of pun is, but I don't think it's actually a pun.
I think it's more of a play on words, wouldn't you say?
Yes, that's
Like, it's another E, And the thing is, he could have been still green with envy if they did it a different way. Like, he could have been green with evil and envy, but, if they'd wanted to play with, like, a love triangle or something with Kimberly, but it kind of gets to more of just, he's generically evil and is no longer interested in her, so there's no envy to be had.
he could have not worn a green shirt in this opening scene, and it might have been
It
a
would have worked.
surprise.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or if
There's a lot.
if he was wearing
There's a
white,
lot
it
of
could have
that
been
in this.
foreshadowing.
Ooh.
Also, I know that like they're at a martial arts thing, but they have beach towels. Like they don't have like towels to, like wipe off the sweat. The Rangers have beach towels for Jason.
Maybe it's because of the theme of Ernie's juice bar? Because Ernie's always wearing Hawaiian shirts?
I
So maybe
gotta
that's
tell
just
you,
the only kind of towel they have around.
when I go to my local juice bar, I love seeing martial arts competitions because I assume that this is just the back of Ernie's juice bar.
It also, oh, it
Oh
is.
nope,
You
nope,
can
nope. They just
you
said,
can see
oh,
it.
it
It's
is.
right there. Yeah, no, you can see it. It's right there. I mean, you see, the thing is, you see martial arts stuff at the juice bar all the time. They just have these exercise mats out constantly.
Maybe this is where I subconsciously got the idea for my uh, Chinese buffet where people perform martial arts while you eat, which is my $3 million idea. Following pockets or pants with big pockets.
When Kimberly was looking at Tommy and getting the hots for him, I wonder if we really needed that music. Was that necessary? Did we
This
have to have the
music
harp?
is necessary always.
Always, yes.
I love that they're like. Do you ever notice that like half the time they're the ones kind of getting bullied?
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
Like
And
they're
you wonder why they would bully these guys because they're constantly doing martial arts. And then you wonder why, if you're trying to keep a secret identity, you would let everyone know that you have really good fighting skills.
well, Jason and Tommy had that beforehand.
Well, no, I know that, but I just think it's hilarious.
But
Like,
I feel like so many episodes, Bulk and Skull are like, hey, look at our cool martial arts moves. Then they do something silly, and then it's like pie in the face. And I feel like they don't earn it most of the time. They're just kind of obnoxious. Like they're not the bullies, they're just like the loud kids. Man, his
I'm very
acting has
superficially,
improved, and I'm surprised
yeah,
to
it
say
has.
that.
I'm very superficially interested in you because the script needs me to be right now.
Well, she's cute, he's cute. It's a whole thing.
So I'd like to know, Rita, why you didn't think of the whole 6 power coin thing at the first
It
episode?
was all part of the plan. See, the pawns go first.
Oh, okay. Of course.
I have to say, I'm kind of impressed by how uh, the dub is done pretty well for her.
Yeah, it is.
I never knew it as a kid.
Yeah, I didn't know
Like
it when I was a
like
kid either.
like
Now
even as a kid,
there are points where it looks pretty bad, but there it looks great.
yeah, like as a kid, I knew that like Godzilla movies were dubbed, like because they were poorly dubbed. Like she's done pretty well. Also, this scene is burned in my brain. Not the putty fight, but like when the wind comes and she sucks him up.
Yep,
I
me
don't know
too.
why that scene kind of iconic.
I don't know if it's the angle or just the. I mean, of the way they shoot it from the roof or what? But I'm with you. That was always the thing I remembered from this.
I love that she shows up and then teleports him. She doesn't just teleport him. Oh, I
Well,
remember
it's
the
more
trash
kinetic.
can too. I remember as a
So
kid thinking you could fight with a trash can lid.
I guess Rita once. Well, we learned that from a lot of like 16-bit video games. It seems like every like side-scrolling beat 'em up game had trash cans lids you could throw.
But I didn't play a lot of those till I was older. So
Oh,
I didn't have
that's
a game
true.
system till PlayStation. I guess the only thing other than that would be like when I went to Chuck E. Cheese and played like the Ninja Turtles game.
I forgot. You're like a youngin.
Well, no, it was just I didn't have a game system. Period.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I was also not allowed to watch Power Rangers when I was a kid. Well, I was, and then apparently I got violent and I wasn't, which is why I miss Zeo. Um, but no, I definitely had Power Rangers tapes when I was a young kid, and then
But I mean, you would have been too little to see this when it was on.
no, but I saw it when it was on VHS. This, for some reason,
Yeah, I know.
I remember being like a really little kid, being like, in like a windstorm, being like, "I'm gonna get taken away by Rita."
And I'm assuming, and somebody probably knows and can tell us in the comments. I'm assuming that was Sentai footage cut together with Tommy footage.
Probably. Usually there's a quality difference, but I didn't notice at that time. But probably.
It kind of looked like they were trying harder to match it, unless they really just put a woman in a Rita suit there. But I don't think they did that.
That's kind of cool. I didn't remember the cocoon.
Yeah, it is kind of neat. The still frame is sort of silly.
Also, why is he not in costume now?
That's a good question. Yeah, it was just that was foreshadowing.
Hey,
So I
it's the
guess,
opening all over again.
yeah, I was just gonna say, I guess Rita wanted Tommy because he's new in town and can kick things.
Yeah. As opposed to the original Sentai where he was the Jason character's brother.
You know, I would make the case that this is not a bad place to start if you were watching Power Rangers for the first time.
I would say Day at the Dumpster, then skip to this.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not that complicated, guys.
You're not missing any intricate logic.
You're not missing them. Frankly, you can kind. I mean, this is one of those shows where up until a certain point, you can kind of just watch the intro and it kind of tells you everything you need to know.
I would actually argue if you seriously wanted to try Power Rangers, or even if you wanted to watch it with like a sibling or a cousin or a child, Day at the Dumpster, this, anything that's a multi-parter until you get to season 2.
Yeah.
I would just skip everything else. Power Rangers is hard to rewatch. Hey, this keeps movie continuity that you need a power coin to get into the base.
Oh, that's always been the case, though.
But like it's actually used here. He got in because he had the power coin.
It's used in a few other places where people can't get in because of that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's really the only thing keeping the bad guys out. There are a couple places where they forget about it. Like,
well, in the movie we find out you just have to open the door.
I'm losing power. When you get to the end of season 3.
I'm sorry that no.
Yeah, I know. I was laughing at Zordon. When you get to the end of season 3 to the Alien Ranger stuff, and they bring in Goldar and Rito to blow up the command center, they have this moment where they just suddenly beam into the command center, even though they've been walking around it for episodes and episodes.
I really wish that there was a scene
And
where
I don't know why they were able to do that.
I really wish there was a scene where like I feel like we're forgetting something, and they just moved on.
By the way, I like both Zordon voices, but I still think I like David Fielding's just a little bit more.
I don't. When do they change?
I think he only voices him through first season.
Okay.
I could be. I forget. And I interviewed him. He told me. I got to go back and listen to that again. It's just been a while, but I don't know. I really like David Fielding. I guess partly because he's cool and I got to talk to him.
I like that Goldar growing big looks like Goldar about to fall over for a second. He was like, whoa, okay, I'm big, all right.
They're already though, just a few minutes into this, if you were a kid watching this, like, there's a lot of big deal going on here, right? I mean, like,
Is that the flying car?
yes, that's the flying car.
Is
And
that
we will
in
get to
this
see it fly.
multi-parter?
Oh yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Oh yeah. We will get to see the ridiculous green screen effect.
Can't wait.
But yeah,
Oh yeah, Green Ranger Goldar? Is that the first time
yeah.
since they fought him before?
I think so. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched this, but I think so. And then, and I mean, breaking into the command center, nobody's ever done that.
It doesn't sound like he's breaking up. It sounds like he's malfunctioning.
Yeah, I don't think the actors knew that while they were doing the scene, but whoever edited this together kind of botched that up.
Is that an arcade machine just sitting there
Yep.
outside?
Yep. Billy's just toying with whatever. Yep, there it goes. It's flying.
I didn't realize it went straight to flying.
It's funny, they use it when they can't beam in. Oh my god. Yeah, how does that work? It's a building! What did they fly through? That's not actually, just so everyone knows, that black abyss back there, not actually space. Just want to throw that out there.
I don't have any words for that.
I'd like to know later on when they'll in places where they'll lose their powers. Like again, season 3, there's this part where they have to walk a really long way to get to the command center. I think it's in 3. And it's like, what, does Billy no longer have the flying car? Like, they never use it again.
Well, I probably just mailed it to make something different.
Maybe so, I forget.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't canon. I'm just saying, probably in between episodes.
Oh, I see.
Man, I can give everybody else a pass. Trini needs to go shopping and get a new wardrobe. I mean, Billy looks bad, but at least I know that they're going for the geeky thing. Like, Trini's just poorly dressed.
Yeah, and Kimberly had that goofy hat at the beginning.
I just assume that's what the 90s was like.
I don't know. I mean,
can we talk about how
when you were exaggerated? It's cute, whatever.
Can we talk about how when you were a kid, Power Rangers is what you assumed being a teenager was like? Because I did.
Yeah, and I thought I assumed that everyone got along, and then there were just a couple of token bullies that walked around and then tripped on things.
I also thought that when I went to school, I would still be doing like show and tell and like math, like just math in high school.
I guess I also figured that by the time I was a freshman in high school, I'd look like I was 25 years old. Like I said, I've been watching Zeo, and I cannot get my mind around the fact that Tommy is still in high school.
Everybody repeats the 5th grade twice, right?
And then there's that episode.
It's really hard.
And there's that episode in that show where the principal calls Billy into his office, and he's like, "You've passed all of our coursework, even though you have another year of school left, so you can just go home now."
Don't you have like a rally or like a bike-a-thon or like
or a huge youth gathering to go to?
Or a martial arts tournament, or a peace conference.
Yes, thank you. That was what I was trying to think of. The peace conference that they leave for and never come back.
That's not true. Kimberly comes back.
No, I just mean like...
not Kimberly.
Well, actually, she does come back for the Turbo movie, but I mean, like...
But she doesn't leave in the peace conference, does she?
I thought... Oh, no, you're right. She doesn't.
No,
she leaves a lot later, but...
Did I just say also...
No, for her... No, it was gymnastics, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's something.
That's what it was.
It was probably some like, hey, by the way, I've been interested in art this entire time, so I'm gonna go to France and study art.
Oh yeah.
Smallville reference.
No, I know. I didn't want to dignify it.
I was letting everybody listening know. Because you said, "Oh yeah," and I just want to make sure nobody thought.
Yeah, I was like, no, I just. See, the thing is, I like Kimberly more than I like Lana Lang. I mean, she has no dimension at all, but she's instantly more likable.
She has more dimension, in fact, than Lana Lang.
And she's never
That
been
is a
possessed by a
flip.
witch. Well, at least I don't think she's ever been possessed by a witch.
I don't know. I don't think so. Well, unless you call being possessed by a lava demon a turbo.
That's a good point.
This is also another scene that just iconically was built into my head.
Well, it's kind of cool that they fight inside the Megazord.
I don't know if I'd call this a fight. He just kind of like thrusts his fist and everything explodes. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of cool that they do anything inside it except for drive the Megazord. That's kind of cool. I'm trying to put my mind in the place I might have been when I was a little kid. Saying
I remember thinking that was just the coolest, like, darkest thing, was he blew up the Megazord.
Yeah. It was a big deal. Something you can
Where
always
did those
say.
stairs come from? Because they were in this big canyon.
Well, that's the thing about mixing all the Sentai footage is they're always in random other locations wherever they were before.
And one time there's a giant child.
Like, I bet there's like a really interesting plot reason for that staircase that we'll never know about if we don't go back and watch Sentai.
I'm wondering if maybe it was just two different scenes. Although, to be fair, Japanese shows do that too, where they'll just shift location. Like, okay, now we're in the desert. I mean, even Godzilla movies kind of do that. Well, the older ones.
I was going to say earlier, it's kind of funny that in this show they'll have, they don't do it as much later, but especially first season, they'll have characters just randomly disappear instead of having any kind of a beaming effect. They're just gone. And it's always really awkward. It's like, whoa, where did he go? Add some sort of a filter. It's immediately less strange.
Hey, props on them having a full blown like CD on Alpha, not like a cassette.
Yeah, they're way ahead of their time.
That could have dated poorly.
Well, they're actually way ahead of their time because Alpha's like a century old or something.
Yeah, it's
So
like
that means Zordon had CDs like in the Dark Ages.
It's like my friends and I were talking that we want to do a special edition for Men in Black, and the only change will be that little disc that Kay holds will just green screen in an MP3 player, so it looks like they were right. He has a good evil laugh.
Yeah, I mean, like, Jason David Frank was a great casting choice for that. And of course, he's there because he can do a good evil, and then later he does, a regular Power Ranger thing.
Yeah, which, to be fair, probably not that hard.
No, that's true, but he's got I think it was all the look. And frankly, that's this whole show, right? It's all about the look.
I feel bad for the Megazord tank that gets
really
way more love here than in the entire series.
I mean, like, what really happened in this? They, there's an evil Green Ranger, and he fought them, and they lost, and they're gonna fight him again. The end.
But it was kind of built up, and no, hold on. Zordon's gone. Alpha's broken, true. And he broke the Megazord. I would say lots of things happened in this first part.
Well, yeah, for this show, sure.
Well, anyway, Bendis comic.
Okay, that's hilarious. Well, anyway, that is the end of Green with Evil Part 1. We will be with you again tomorrow with the second part, and until then...
Power Rangers work to restore Zordon and Alpha, unaware of the new kid in school is actually Rita's evil Green Ranger. I feel like that could have been the plot summary for the first episode.
And they won't notice, even though his eyes randomly
glow. And he's really mean to Kimberly.
And he's suddenly really mean.
I remember that scene, too, where he's, like, working out. I don't remember why he's mean, or how he's mean. I just remember he is mean.
Wouldn't it have been a really big deal if you got halfway through the saga and suddenly Zack or someone just went, wait a minute, he always wears green?
No, I think the only reference to that is when he becomes the Black Ranger in Dino Thunder.
Dino Thunder.
And I love that some black.
I love that of all people, it was Tommy that finally makes a reference to that. Well, anyway, we are going to bid you farewell, everybody, but we will see you tomorrow with another podcast and another commentary. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.